I don't have the time for this. I don't want to waste my limited time trying to figure out your ridiculousness. Like, I played Bloodborne, and Bloodborne was okay. It's unfair in its own ways, but you know, the I guess with games like that, the only way you feel like you're enjoying it is if you think you're outsmarting the game by getting ahead of where you're supposed to be. You know, it's just like, oh, okay, I farmed, I stayed back and farmed, and now I'm you know, more powerful than I'm supposed to be.
Teachers only duty free here.
Teachers what?
Do teachers get duty free here?
For what?
Or
Duty?
price?
Why would they get duty free for anything?
They get duty free back in Diana. Teachers
Do you want to do supremacy, heroes and
I
villains,
don't
or
know, unless maybe they work for the government.
galactic assault?
You know, I don't. Because I mean, your teachers you're talking about are government school teachers, right? So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they do. I doubt, but I haven't heard that.
Blast.
Blast, yeah, whatever. Load it up.
Load it up, lock it in.
Load
Let
it
me
up,
begin.
lock it in. Dang, why did I cancel the matchmaking? Sorry, do it again. I pressed the wrong button.
It's it's
Okay.
already falling apart.
I was pressing R3 to accept, but it's actually R3 to cancel.
There's always a bigger bitch.
Dang. Truer words never spoken. Oh, you gotta, when you get the chance, you gotta listen to the playlist 2.0.
Oh, okay.
I completely revamped the beginning,
Okay.
and I added some things in the middle, and then also changed most of the ending a little bit. So I think at the time when you heard it, it had like 55, 56 songs in it. I think I'm at 78 now.
You took out Dio, right?
Did I take out Devo? I don't know, you know. I may not have. I can't remember if I took
That
Devo
song was trash. I've never heard such an assault to my ears.
I did take out B-52s.
Oh.
Yeah, Kevin's like, it was like, get rid of Private Idaho. What was it? It was Personal Idaho.
Personal Idaho. Private Eyes.
Idaho.
That's the wrong song. That's the wrong
need to
band.
have Private Eyes in there. I need to have Private Eyes in there.
You need to have some Hall and Oates.
See, because like you have to remember the origin of this thing was obscure 80 songs that most people had not heard of. So I purposely left off, you know, the hits. But then, you know, you gotta have some kind of crowd pleasers in there. So I think the new opening slate will be a crowd pleaser. But
because we were talking about the Stranger Things and how it revived 80 songs.
Or Clankas. Yeah, it revived certain 80 songs that nobody else. I mean, like, it's odd that nobody else knows. I know these songs. There they are. Damn.
I got him, but then his buddy came and got me. He got me.
They got me, dirty rats. They got me. But yeah, like I know these songs, and I don't see why anyone else didn't know. Like, I've been listening to Kate Bush probably. I think the first time I heard that Kate Bush song might have been in like 2004, which is still years after it released, of course. But
yeah, years after the Renaissance, when everyone was like, "Man, Eminem, man."
Eminem. It was Eminem. It was Jay-Z and Pharrell.
Jay-Z.
It was Maroon 5's debut. All of that was happening in 2004.
Kate what?
Yeah, Kate who?
No, honestly, I hadn't heard that song until Stranger Things.
Dang.
That's what got me. Don't run.
I was into. I was into the good stuff. Ouch. I was into the good music back in the day.
Ah, man.
And of course, back in the day, the MC had to lie because you couldn't say you were into 80s music.
No, you couldn't.
2000s. Like,
you couldn't. Just like I was talking yesterday on stream, I was saying you can't say that you were into video games in the 90s. Like, you say that and that's the kiss of death. That is the kiss of death.
I remember being on the bus at a school trip with my CD player hidden in my pocket because that's how we did it back in the day. Hidden. Well, because you weren't really supposed to have all of that stuff anyway. But
True.
And
how dare
the
they?
kids next to me asking like, "What you listening to?" I'm like, "Oh man, yeah, it's some old 80s hip hop, I'm like some like it was like Run DMC."
Run DMC.
And I kid you not, it was Karma Chameleon. it was Culture Club, Tears for Fears, and Wang Chung. Everybody have fun tonight. Like, that was
culture, man. Actual music.
I know. I mean, also, what else was on there? Hungry Like the Wolf was on there. Duran Duran.
Oh yeah.
Ouch.
Juices Like Wine.
Juices like wine, and I'm
hungry like the wolf. I'm hungry for a murder right now. Damn. Jesus Christ. This guy's talking all these things on his stream. But like, yeah, man, hidden. We were hidden. We were shrouded in darkness. Take that. Oh, man.
Scanning hostile.
Jeez.
I'm a coming.
Yeah, but that's how we had to roll.
Yeah, you had to hide it, man.
You had to. And it wasn't just that. It was like music, everything, man.
Yeah, you couldn't talk about video games unless it was Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, or something like Doom or something. Like, oh, I'll play Doom.
Yeah. Because even Mortal Kombat wasn't. Well,
Mortal Kombat was. Yeah, it was like people talked about Mortal Kombat. But it wasn't cool.
Yeah,
it wasn't cool to play anything else.
Yeah, it was past it. So now you couldn't play Okami, man.
Okami.
People are like, what's that? What's that? What's this Japanese? It's Japanese crap. It's like
Japanese crap.
Because anime wasn't acceptable either. So you couldn't talk about nothing from Japan.
Nothing. It was a dark time, man. I'm telling you. These kids don't know what's going on.
No, they don't. Thank you. Was that Jay and Carlos who got you?
Yeah.
Okay, I avenged you then. Don't worry.
Nice.
I was right behind you. Cowpoke Robert. Oh my goodness. Robert Omeda's in the.
Robert Omeda's in here.
He's in the server.
Rain check, huh? You bastard.
For real, right?
Yeah, the dude he was straight up like, oh man, like, hey, I'm gonna have a Super Bowl party, man. I'd like you to come. Our good friend Nate. Good friend Nate gonna buy a big screen TV, so he's gonna tell me when he gets it, so I'll take a rain check on yours. I'm like, yeah, you scumbag. So all it is that you wanted a big screen TV. Oh, I fell and killed myself.
Oh, that was you? Oh my! Yeah. I saw that. I'm like, where's that guy going? Like,
he's going straight to straight to HE double hockey sticks.
The HFIL.
And it's, oddly enough, those TV shows like Family Matters and Full House were popular with the kids. They were like super. Home Improvement. I remember I had a buddy on the school bus, and you know how we had like separate kinds of friends. We had friends just for the school bus.
Real. Yeah, you had just your school bus people. You had your lunchroom people. You had your homeroom people.
Yeah, and that's it. That's it. We didn't mess around. We discriminated.
Yeah, we compartmentalized like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't know. Like, yeah, classes don't mix. Like
they don't.
We don't talk in the hallway. That's the neutral zone.
That's it.
It was like
a simple nod.
It was like Star Wars Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The Romulan neutral zone.
It was the tip of the hat, and then just the subtle gaze. Joker thinks he's gonna get me? Oh, you. I got him.
Woo.
He thought he was gonna fade me. Yeah, so it was like, it was like that. So I had the school bus friend, and the school bus friend, he was a big Home Improvement fan. A huge Home Improvement fan. Even when
when was Home Improvement popular?
Like early 90s?
When? Like never. I mean, I know I was in different neighborhoods, but no way were kids talking about Home Improvement. Like Tim Allen.
This guy was a big fan. He was like huge. So big that when the kid, I forgot his name, Tyler Davis or whatever. David, he had like a weird double name, like David Tyler Owen or some crap like that. And he was on TGIF. Remember TGIF, where it was like every Friday a new host would take control of your TV pretty much from one of the sitcoms, and they'd be like sitting in his home studio.
Man, good.
You don't remember
times.
TGIF?
Like, yeah.
Trying. Well, it was one of those things where every single Friday, the networks would play the whole lineup, but it would be hosted by one of the shows. You know?
I mean, that's what they based Cartoon Fridays on.
Yeah, basically.
And shouldn't that thing have exploded? It did not explode. Dang, now he's gonna think I'm targeting him.
So we I remember it was so big that when TGI Fridays, like every Friday, he'd be like, oh man, TGIF, it's coming, it's gonna be so great. Whoa. Like he's pretty much he was always into it, and I was only his friend on the school bus. Like I didn't know him any other way. I wouldn't want to know him any other way.
Woo! And victory.
And then we had the school bus bullies, of course, that we had to be careful with.
Of course.
But these shows, those were the popular. Like you could talk about those shows. You could talk about, and then when Fresh Prince debuted, it was like all the ballers.
That was that was the beginning of it was cool to be brown era. That's what that was.
It was cool to be brown.
Yeah, because that's when it was all right, you know.
And not at what's happening, you know.
No, exactly. Not what's happening. Not Sanford and Son. Not even, you know, not
the Jeffersons.
Not living in living color. Not living
single. No.
It took Fresh Prince to normalize. That's what it took to normalize like hip hop culture. That's the only way you can.
That's the only way.
It's the only way you can speak about this thing.
Because everybody was cool. Will was the only cool one
Yeah, everyone else was well, you know what the secret of that was.
What?
The secret was that while the actors were colored,
What?
but that's the secret. While
Yeah.
actors were people of color, the behavior was not.
It was not.
So, it was a kind of a sneak attack. It was kind of a, it was a, snake under a box. Because, Will was the only person who would behave like you would expect.
Right, but the others were.
But the others
you had the
were
butler.
bougie. Yeah, they had a butler.
You had the butler that was okay being a slave. That's number one. He was cool with it.
It was like, it pays to be slaves. It's like, what? What is this?
What is this going on here? Oh, man.
British. So
of course they had to hype it up. They had to ramp it up. It's like, not only is he just playing the role of a white person, but no, we got to give him something more. He's British.
Yeah, he's British. So that brings it in. Now we got the big jolly fat man.
Yes.
Father Christmas, but caramel Father Christmas.
Hershey's Father Christmas.
Hershey's Father Christmas. Easy to accept.
Yeah, you're right.
Easier to accept that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Ow.
Ooh, they're sniping.
That guy, I think that was personal. He came and attacked me. But yeah. And then you had Carlton was the letter jacket prep boy.
Right. The goofball, the nerd.
Yeah, the prep somehow not nerd.
Right.
So that's how it was acceptable.
You had the dumb blonde, the sister.
Yeah. Hillary was
Hillary.
So like all of these.
Damn. Jesus.
But like all of these characters, while they looked a certain way, they didn't act a certain way.
They did.
So it was the stealth. It was
right. It was intentional.
It was the arsenic in the Kool-Aid. That they didn't know was in there until it was too late.
Like, how can we make Will cool?
It's like, we have to juxtapose him against, the typical American family. But how do we do that without being offensive? We'll make them all the same color. Oh.
Oh.
Like that was it.
That's it. That
was it.
Give that man a raise.
Yeah. Give him an executive producer credit.
Oh my God. Isn't it so? I mean, but it's true. And then it became like one of the most popular ones.
It worked. Yeah. So that's how that
Who
happened.
doesn't know the theme song?
For real. Like, and exactly. And who forget, who from corn-fed Iowa parts of America doesn't know the theme song, and that's the point.
Right.
The saturation was such that it reached the heartland.
It reached the heartland. It did.
So now it's that was the beginning of, hey, wait a minute. It's cool to be like Will, because he's the one who's the protagonist of this whole thing, and he's cool.
Yeah, Will's cool.
People who act like Will are cool.
Right.
And,
he's going to turn his jacket inside out. He's going to be flashy.
Yeah, he's going to turn that cap, 3/4 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He's going to turn it to the side, and it's going to be awesome. So that's how it was.
It's rebellion. It's
yeah. It's
a fresh take on life. It's cool.
School.
Yeah. He's always getting in trouble. He's always learning a lesson.
It was the new punk rock.
It was the new punk rock.
Because like Will would roll up like one leg of his pants. This is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't.
I saw him. Yeah, he thought he was doing something over there. But like, it was the new punk rock, and everyone was on board for it because fight the establishment.
Yeah, of course. Because why not? All right, I'm going in for the assault.
Ow! Ow! There's a sniper up on that main thing, and his accuracy is on point. But yeah, like, so
where the heck did he go?
Those things were okay.
Oh, there he is.
To talk about. Got him.
You got me.
Son of Carl 81.
Speak about Carl. But yeah, because like he's like Family Matters. That was like the typical family, and you had the dad, who was Carl Winslow, which, by the way, I've heard the like fan theory to kill all fan theories about that show. And it links Carl Winslow's character to the Die Hard character.
Oh.
Same cop. Yeah.
Oh,
so
now that's good.
So the theory goes that all this is pretty much like playing out in Carl's mind.
Oh.
That he's got a family. So like after the Nakatomi incident, his delusions are slowly coming in. Like, when I'm in the beginning, I don't know if you saw Die Hard or not, but when he was in the gas station, and then he was like, hey, that he was buying a bunch of Twinkies and all that, and the guy was like, hey, what are you buying all these Twinkies for? He's like, oh, my wife, she's pregnant. Well, that was a lie. Like, he's not married. That's just like part of delusion that starts kicking in.
Right.
And then in the whole gist of the movie, like his character development is that, he had done some wrong. He killed a kid. Didn't think
it was Steve Urkel he killed.
Well, that's the theory, that he, after Die Hard, he just couldn't hack it anymore, and he turned his badge in, turned his gun in, and eventually just went into a mental institution. And he was living his life. So in there, he had his own delusion with his own family and all that, and he had the perfect wife, the perfect son, the perfect daughter. And then in the first episode, how Steve is introduced in the first episode is almost kind of like a nightmare when he opens the door. And so that the whole theory is that's the kid that he killed.
Damn.
And he's there just to torment him.
And eventually that kid gets his daughter. Yeah.
That's
the nightmare. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Jesus.
Yeah. So that's the theory of the century. I think it's like one of the best fan theories I've ever heard, and it fits in perfectly. It's kind of like WandaVision in a way. Like, I don't know if you ever saw WandaVision.
Yeah, I did.
So it starts out all cool and weird, and it's like, oh, this is like a sitcom type thing. But then
WandaVision annoys me, only because
you didn't like it.
I didn't like it. I mean, like, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, like, the premise is fine. I believe the premise just fine. But like, there were just some things that they did in that show that they didn't need to do, especially the Ralph Boner crap. It's like,
oh yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Ralph Boner, like who? Like, what kind of college mind came up with that?
It's the same people who clearly were like begging on, what's his name? Oh god, Todd Phillips to make Joker 2. Like, those same people.
Oh god.
It's just like, oh no, these fans, they expect this. So what you gotta do is, it was probably like executive produced by Ryan Johnson. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, here's what you gotta do, man. You gotta subvert the expectations.
Here's what you gotta do.
This is what they want. You gotta tease them with what they want, and then turn it into something vile.
Right. Yeah, this is me subverting my expectation to him, like going to the theater, buying the ticket, and then returning it and getting my money back.
Yeah. Like, customer retention returned on The Last Jedi.
That's what I did. I just like walked out. We just couldn't deal with it. As soon as Princess Leia woke up in space, I was just like, what is this? What kind of hipster blues?
For real. Mary Poppins looking.
I know, right?
Like,
which,
what?
I mean, yeah, in the like, people argue like, yeah, you know, but in the extended universe, that does happen.
No. No.
I'm just like, no.
No. Don't even.
Jesus.
In the extended universe, Chewbacca dies like slamming into a moon. So, don't talk to me about EU.
Yeah.
Nah,
we
a
lost.
lot of crazy stuff happens in the extended universe.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. Heir to the Empire happens, and it's like,
Yeah, where they clone Luke based off of his hand.
remember me and those lonely nights.
Oh my god.
I mean, like totally off the wall type bizarro stuff. He's like, remember me?
That's your best girl, Jackie. What?
Hey, Luke, let me give you a hand. They're like, that would be like the Japanese Star Wars type thing, or like a B movie type Star Wars plot where he's the hands quote, like it's kind of like his Spider-Man to Venom, you know what I mean? To his Venom, where